This is a big one. Breaking news. So Trump is declaring and confirms plans to declare national emergency using military to mass deportations on day one. This is huge. National emergencies, day one. There's two of them, though, for the military, for the mass deportations having to deal with the southern border. We also have the other that was just declared, that they're going to declare a national emergency similar to COVID, but focused on chronic disease. And this is coming on the RFK side of it. So two national emergencies declared day one for whenever Trump gets into office. This is going to be some big changes, guys, that are coming. Because with declaring the national emergencies, there's special tools and things that gets Trump not only money, but personnel in order to fix the issue with the southern border crisis, as well as with chronic disease, the FDA, all the stuff that's in our food and cleaning all that health, all that stuff up because they want to make us healthy. We also have really good news that Senator Tom Cotton has come out and said that Trump is going to get all of his nominees through in the Senate. They've been having meetings all this week, and things are looking really great for Trump to have his dream team starting day one. We also have it where the Biden-Harris administration, unfortunately, is now sending another $20 billion of taxpayer dollars to Ukraine. I'm not making this stuff up. They're saying that this is going to be a loan. We all know how the Biden administration feels about loans. They have given money to Ukraine as loans and then later quietly forgave them. But this is where you can't tell me that the government isn't corrupt. Kash Patel said he is going to go after the Ukraine money. He said the Biden administration has been giving taxpayer monies without us knowing, and there's no accountability of where that money is going. We also have it where Jim Jordan has officially come out, everybody. This is big good news. Officially come out and said he is going after all the special counsels, the DOJ, the FBI. They're going to go after everybody that weaponized lawfare during the past 4 to 6 years. Big news, everybody. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so I can serve you every day with the top news. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button, guys. It really does help. It's free, guys. It's a free click if you don't mind. And thank you to all of our members of the channel. Y'all are amazing. We have the best chat on YouTube. We always have such a good time. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation, guys. We are so excited. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing the biggest donation live on air to show you that this channel gives back to charities to bring a positive change forward in this world. But guys, this is big news. Jim Jordan is not playing around. Check this out.
Let's just keep it tight. You and I will have a rolling conversation once the session starts and you guys are in. You're welcome here whenever you want. Why is it worth another round of investigating the people who investigated you guys?
Right there.
Well, there's a long tradition, Chris, for Congress to take a look at special counsels. I mean, the Democrats did it with Mueller. Then there was, Robert Hur that we looked at and had him come in front of the committee. And so we will definitely look at the report Jack Smith brings forward. We will look at the report David Weiss brings forward. We think that's important, particularly when you think about some of the concerns that have been raised about each of those investigations and what it means to our justice system. Specifically with Jack Smith, we know one of his lawyers said to a counsel for one of the defendants in the case in Florida that he said, one of his lawyers said to the defendant's counsel, "We didn't know you were a Trump guy. We thought you were interested in this judge position." Almost this veiled threat. So it's like that needs to be investigated in and of itself. So we will definitely look at that. And then David Weiss, we had the two whistleblowers that came forward and told us about all the things that were wrong with that investigation, how political it became. So we need to look at all that. But that's just consistent with how Congress always operates with special counsels.
I know. I just think that it's a mistake. That's why I'm asking you about it. And you'll remember, I felt the same way about all the stuff I suggested was going to happen with Biden. And you did all those investigations, and I don't know that it left the country in a better place the same way I feel about the Trump investigations. Do you worry that you are continuing a cycle of just attacking the other side and not doing the people's work?
No. No, I think we have a constitutional duty to do oversight. It's part of our responsibility as members of the United States Congress, part of our responsibility as the legislative branch to do oversight of the executive branch. We should do that vigorously. We should do it as much as we possibly can, but we should do it in a fair way. And I'm not looking, I mean, President Trump said this in his interview on NBC this weekend. I'm not looking for any type of retribution. We're just looking to get the facts out there and make sure that in the future, our Justice Department operates in a way that's not political. And we know that's not the case. We know that has not been the case. It has been political in going after President Trump, and frankly, I think other conservatives as well. So we want that to stop. We want equal treatment under the law. That's how our country, the greatest system ever, the greatest country ever, that's how it's supposed to work. That's my focus. That's our focus. So it's not about retribution. I think President Trump said it best. He said the real retribution is winning for the country, success for the country. And success for the country is certainly a Justice Department that is not political.
I hear that. How are you going to improve the Justice Department with these investigations?
Well, I think getting to the truth so that it doesn't happen in the future is important.
Yes.
But also, maybe there's something we need to do with their budget. We're supposed to deal with the budget. Here's an example. The FBI's budget is somewhere about $11.3 billion. $6 billion of that budget is for intelligence, counterintelligence, and domestic terrorism. I think most Americans would think, like, really? I thought the FBI was supposed to be going after gang activity, organized crime, money laundering, all the stuff that you typically think of the FBI. So why not focus on where it's supposed to be? And where it's supposed to be is non-political, not surveilling the American people, but actually dealing with the bad guys on the street. Let's focus on that, not going after your political opponents.
I'm fine with that, but you are going to be going after his political opponents. He said in the interview, I think everybody on the January 6th committee should be investigated.
Boom.
Why? They were just doing their job. You may
Are
not
you
like the
kidding
job,
me?
but it's the same job that you guys did.
No, they weren't.
I'm for doing what the Congress always does, which is look at the special counsel, what they've done. They're going to give us a report. Chris, we'll take a look at that report. We may have Jack Smith and David Weiss come in for a hearing. We'll have to see. But we need to examine that. That's how the system works. That's part of our responsibility under the Constitution. So we're gonna do that. That's not retribution. That's doing our job and making sure our Justice Department, as I've said, is not operating in a political fashion like it most certainly did with President Trump over the last 4 years.
Listen, I have been an outspoken critic of the New York cases against Trump. I don't believe that goes for all of them. I was an outspoken critic of what was happening with the Russia probe because they would never remove him from office. So why put us through the exercise of an impeachment? But I will tell you, I'll be watching what you do. You're always going to be here to discuss it. I just think the country has had it and wants you to work on immigration and the economy. And if you want to watch where the money goes, I think that's acceptable. But we'll see how you do it. And I appreciate you coming on to give us a little advance warning of what's coming.
Guys, the investigations are coming. The national emergencies are declared. Trump confirms plan to declare national emergency, use military for mass deportations day one. We've already shown you. Robert F. Kennedy says that on the first day of Trump's presidency, they would declare an emergency similar to COVID, but focused on chronic disease. We're going to get the fluoride out of our water. You're going to get the chemicals out of the food. On top of that, this is Texas National Guard just seized control of Shelby Park, blocking Border Patrol from entering as part of the anti-illegal immigration. Now under Governor Abbott's emergency declaration, the Texas National Guard has seized control of this park and some surrounding land around the river, put up fencing and raised wire, and kicked out the Border Patrol agents. Because remember, Biden was targeting these federal agents to push away Texas's Border Patrol to allow illegal immigrants to come in. That's how crazy this is. Deanna Scott, thank you so much for renewing your membership. Let's go. Said I absolutely love Joel and what he stands for. Let's go. Deanna, we love you too. Y'all show Deanna some love in the chat. And guys, not only that, this stuff is getting heated in Congress today. I want you to listen to this because I never imagined that we would have Congress people defending not wanting to remove one illegal immigrant from our country, but here it is.
I have to say, I'm kind of amazed that we're holding this hearing. To me, it's remarkable that the idea of actually, as you were just saying, Ms. Morin, the idea of enforcing our laws, protecting our border, securing our streets from criminals, it's amazing that that's controversial at all. And it says something a lot about the other side of the dais that we're having this hearing today. Let me just ask you, Mr. Reichlin-Melnick, I mean, is it really such a bad idea to deport people like the criminal who killed this young man? This is Travis Wolf. He was 12 years old when he was killed. He was mowed down, and I do mean mowed down, in a car by an illegal immigrant, 12 years of age, walking along a sidewalk in my state of Missouri, mowed down by an illegal immigrant who I think also had a prior criminal record. Is this such a bad idea to deport the person who killed him?
Any person who commits a heinous crime should suffer the consequences under the law.
Good. What about Officer David Lee? Officer David Lee was killed in Missouri just a few months ago by another illegal immigrant, once again in a car, who used it as a lethal weapon to ram him and kill him. Is it so wrong, such a bad idea to deport the illegal immigrant who killed this good man?
Again, any person who commits an awful act should face the full force of the law. And
We've had multiple stabbings in the state of Missouri at laundromats in O'Fallon, Missouri, where innocent civilians were going to do their laundry of an evening and were attacked with knives, slashed, bled, stomped upon. Should the illegals who did that, should they not be deported?
No, as I said, if you commit an offense, you should face consequences. But the overwhelming majority of the 13 million people here today
We've had officers assaulted in Kansas City on the other side of the state who have been assaulted by illegal immigrants. One officer required over 100 stitches to the head.
Wow. Oh, sorry, y'all.
I have to say, I'm kind of amazed that we're holding this hearing. To me, it's remarkable that the idea.
Oh, sorry, y'all. I apologize. I have the wrong video on there. Let me fix this for you guys. I am so sorry. Oh, my goodness. One moment.
I have to say, I'm kind of...
All right. I've got it for you guys. One moment. I'm sorry. Okay, we're going to get you fixed up, everybody. One moment. Right to where we were at. Okay. I got you.
Required over 100 stitches to the head, a police officer, earlier this year. Should the illegal immigrant who did that not be deported?
Again, they should face the consequences of the law, but they are a very small minority of the population that President Trump is promising to deport.
Well, let's talk about the rest of the people who you don't want to be deported. You said in an article that you wrote recently, new report shows devastating costs of mass deportation. You wrote this in October. Do you remember this piece?
Yes, that is a summary of our report.
Yeah, so in this piece, and it's also in your written testimony, you talk about how much the economy will lose if the United States actually enforces our immigration laws and deports folks who are here illegally. And I want to quote you now. You say some industries would be particularly hard hit, including construction, agriculture, and hospitality, which combined would lose more than 2.5 million workers. What's the argument here, that there aren't American workers who are available to do those jobs?
No, and as I said previously, there likely are, but the issue is that—
And you don't want their wages to rise?
I think that we want to pass a path to citizenship so we can have a level and fair playing field for every American.
Why would you want American citizens and those who are here lawfully to have to compete against illegal immigrants who, by the way, are often paid not minimum wage, who are not given the federally mandated benefits precisely because they're here illegally? Why would you want to drive down the wages of millions of working Americans who can't get those jobs in construction, agriculture, and hospitality because illegal immigrants are getting them? Suppressing wages in the meantime. Why would you want to do that?
Well, if you didn't hear from my initial testimony, you know I don't want—
Oh, listen, I read your testimony word for word, and I've been watching it, and I know what the answer is. You don't actually care about working people because you're absolutely hell-bent on this ideological agenda of opening our border. You want to give everybody who's here a path to citizenship. You want blanket amnesty. You talk about mass deportations. That's your word, not Trump's. You want mass amnesty, right? It's right here in your testimony.
We want a path to citizenship for people who pass a background check, who pay a
That's
fine.
amnesty, who you
and
just
that
said
way
there's
we'll get
millions
a
of people,
level
13
playing
million
field.
people. Right, 13 million people you want to dump into the labor force.
They are
Who
already
will drive
in the labor force,
illegally?
Senator.
They're here,
Yes.
taking jobs
So
from
let's
American
make it
citizens. And so,
legal and avoid
perfect. So
this.
here's your plan. So just if you're wondering, America, here's the Democrats' plan. Take the 13 million plus illegals who are here, taking jobs from Americans, taking wages down, taking health care benefits, and bring them here legally so that they can continue to drive down wages, flood the labor force, and suppress all
Senator
of the
Hawley, they
above.
can't flood the labor force if they're already part of the labor force, which is
They
the
are
economic
flooding the
issue
labor
today.
force now. That's what's happening now. Why do
The
you think
majority
wages
have been here for
flatlined?
over 15 years, many millions have been
And
here
what has
since the
happened to
Reagan
working class
administration.
wages in that time, Mr. Reifman-Melnick?
Working
Have
class
they gone
wages
up?
are currently going up, yes.
Oh, really? They've
have
gone up over the last
year.
15 years?
Over the
They're
last
up?
15 years, I will have to consult the economists on that matter.
Yeah, they're down, way down. What world do you live in? Listen,
Senator Hawley, they
here's
are
the
all-
deal. The
Are you
American
familiar with
people
the
just
phrase,
voted.
"Don't
The American
cut off your
people
nose to
just
spite your
voted.
face"?
Well, you know what? It's my time, not yours. So you're here to answer my questions, not to offer a soliloquy. And let me just end with this.
Ooh.
The American people just got a good look at your economic program, and they voted against it. We've had an open border for the last 4 years. We have had de facto amnesty, as you yourself just said, for the last 15 plus years. It has been a disaster. People have died because of it. Wages are lower because of it. Our streets are in chaos because of it. And now you and the Democrat Party just say more of the same, more of the same. Let's double down. I would just say to you, I think that's insanity. I think it's total insanity, and the American people do too.
Guys, what a pit bull Josh Hawley is. I love it, guys. Why? We need these pit bulls in Congress because how could you say, well, we just let 13 million people in and we just want to give them amnesty? There's been no vetting. There's been nothing. They totally screwed over American people and even illegal and even migrants who were trying to come over to the United States legally, screwed over them because they've been waiting in line. They've been paying and doing their dues like they're supposed to. The Democrats are like, and I'm not saying this for everyone, but some of these Democrats and the way that they think, they don't care about the American people. They care about their agenda. Thank you so much, GLO, for the super chat. Merry Christmas to all the True Life News family. I love it. And What's New said, I voted for a president who will deport illegal immigrants day one. 100% us and 77 million other Americans. Y'all show GLO and What's New some love in the chat, everybody. Because I'm telling you, what I'm about to show you next, it has to happen. It has to happen. Biden-Harris administration sends Ukraine another $20 billion. Look at all them zeros, everybody. Which will be repaid using profits generated by frozen Russian assets. Oh, so some people are saying it's a loan. Some people are saying that it's just money given to them, but we're going to pay for it because we've seized Russian assets and we're just going to pay off this debt over here with it. It's all a bunch of, yes, it's all a bunch of that. White House, this is the White House. This is what they've said. We're unable to track $6.2 billion sent to Ukraine. California, we're unable to track $24 billion sent to combat homelessness. The Pentagon, we're unable to track $2.3 trillion of military spending. The U.S. Treasury, we're unable to track $5 trillion of pandemic spending. The IRS, we know you sent $601.57 to your friend. You better report it or you're going to jail. That's the world that we live in, guys. And this is why Kash Patel is not holding back. He said, I'm going to go after them and we are going to 100% make sure that they know that we're coming because they need to answer for this money that has been given out.
I've asked this Congress to investigate where has this money gone. The American people are owed that answer because it's our money. It's our taxpayer dollars.
And there's a lot of really good reason to be concerned because, the Ukraine was known as a, place of corruption, a place for money laundering.
Yeah. It's not like we sent $1 billion, as if that was even a small number to begin with, right? We've sent 100 times that to one country. I don't know how this Congress is allowed to get away with it. And Zelensky is out there. He went on the world stage and said Russia fired a rocket into Poland, which would literally be an act of war. Well, it turned out that Russia fired no such rocket. It turned out that the rocket came from the Ukraine and was fired into Poland.
And it was a mistake, basically.
If Zelensky's going to go out there and beg the world for more money and come to the U.S. and sit in the well of our Congress and say, we want more money, and then call and demand the new Speaker of the House provide more and more money, and call Mitch McConnell and say, we need more and more machinery, he needs to be more prepared about global statements that bring us to the precipice of war than doing what he did last fall with this missile attack, or this missile launch, I should say. And we just can't have full faith and trust by giving a leader $100 billion and having him say, I'm not telling you where the money went.
Guys, that's where we're at right now. Y'all think like the more and more that we uncover this stuff, guys, the more and more I believe we need the disruptors in Congress. We need people that are not a part of the system, not a part of the deep state, that are not establishment people. We need people ready to rock Congress because there's so much dang corruption. Scott Blinkendorfer, thank you so much for joining the TrueLife News fam. And thank you so much, Ronald Zimmerman, for the super chat. Y'all show them some love in the chat, everybody. I love it. We got the best chat out there. So check this out. Elon Musk posted this. This is a reminder. He said this. This is a reminder that the modern degenerate NGO industry was created by Reagan's tax reform and has privatized, let's see, that's a million, a billion, a trillion, $10 trillion of assets in the past 20 years. Nonprofit indeed. So these are supposed to be nonprofits, but they have processed through $10 trillion. These are the NGOs. These NGOs are the nonprofit organizations, are the same ones that were at the border giving out these, what's it called? All the tax benefit forms to the illegals coming in to go ahead and sign up for taxpayer benefits, which they got. Free housing, free food stamps, free electricity, free cell phone, free health care. It's so crazy, but this is where this money has been funneled through. It's been these NGOs. Connie Coleman, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Connie some love in the chat. But I'm telling you, where we're at, the Dems are like divided right now. Now that everything has happened with Biden, things are coming out like never before. Check this out, because I'm telling you, we're seeing the true state of the Democratic Party. They were never aligned. They were all being puppets controlled by certain people. And this is why we need independent thinkers who are going to put America first.
Biden's coasting into retirement, and now that his career's finished, he's pretending to kind of not like the people who whacked him. Joe and Kamala were at the Kennedy honors last night. Biden and Dr. Jill froze her out.
Look, dude, they didn't even acknowledge her.
The Biden said hi to everybody else in the building except Kamala. But while Biden's giving Kamala the cold shoulder, the party's giving it to him. A White House official told Politico he's been so cavalier and selfish about how he approaches the final weeks of the job. The Hunter Biden pardon put Democrats over the edge. One lawmaker told Axios that people are really angry. More than half the House Democrats are frustrated about it. Another Democrat said, I am unplugging from Biden right now. Tonight, all the Democrats whining about Biden are trying to get their picture taken with him at the annual White House Christmas party. So for Democrats, a photo op is more important than winning. They're too afraid to offend the big guy. That's how Kamala got the nomination. Democrats were too sensitive.
We ultimately lost this race, but I can guarantee you if we had had an open Democratic primary that the Democratic coalition would have been so fractured that we would have guaranteed a loss. to open up a Democratic primary, you would have had black women, who were the strongest voting bloc for Kamala Harris, be highly upset if it was not Kamala Harris.
Democrats put the feelings of black women over democracy and ended up with Trump. Now the entire country gets what it voted for.
Is it realistic to deport everyone who's
You have
here
no
illegally?
choice. First of all, they're costing us a fortune. But we're starting with the criminals, and we got to do it. And then we're starting with others, and we're going to see how it goes. I don't want to be breaking up families, so the only way you don't break up the family is you keep them together, and you have to send them all back.
So if Jose and Maria are legal, but their cousin Guillermo isn't, they can stay while Guillermo gets deported. Or if they want to stay together, they can all fly south on the same jet. Whoopi heard that and popped the Valium.
All we have to do from now until January 21st is be with our families, be with our kids, do our jobs, make sure our checks don't bounce, make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and our families. Whatever he's going to do, he's going to do.
We have the luxury of saying that because we're legal, we are successful, we are. But if you're an illegal immigrant in this country, you're not going to be not in a panic. If you are a woman working for the Department of Defense, you have a right to be in a panic.
You tell people to stay fraught and like this.
I'm telling people to prepare, Whoopi. I'm telling people to prepare.
Ladies, calm down. Trump is going to protect you, whether you like it or not. One journalist is so mad that Hispanics voted for Trump, he says deport them all. Democrats should spend exactly zero political capital stopping any Trump deportation efforts. It is madness to spend capital trying to help people who are no longer a major part of your electoral coalition. Democrats for deportations.
Wow.
It's the right thing to do, but Democrats don't always do the right thing if it's Trump's idea.
When they say good things and appropriate things, I think we should work with them.
How do you walk that tightrope? Because what I find is there is a gag reflex from, and I think both parties have it, a gag reflex on Robert Kennedy says, ultra-processed foods are killing Americans. And I'm like, yeah.
That's right.
God awful. That's got to change.
Yep.
Elon Musk says we've got waste and inefficiency in the government. And we're like, yeah, we've been yelling about that for years. And as soon as you do that, how dare you? It's really interesting.
Democrats have a decision to make. Are they going to follow common sense and do the right thing for the country, or follow their party bosses who don't sanction cooperation? If Democrats can work with Trump, there's no stopping what this country can do. But right now, they're still stuck in the past.
If you're the Democratic Party, here's my advice to you. Shut up.
Dang.
Wait for him to get pushed into office or to accept inauguration on January 20th, and he becomes the 47th president of the United States officially. Wait for then, and then judge him accordingly. Stop talking about the past. The American people have already told you to kick rocks. They don't care what you have to say anymore as Democrats. You have been squashed, obliterated. Nobody in the White House. You don't have the House. You don't have the Senate. And then you're going to walk around talking about how, oh, well, he didn't get 50% of the vote. Well, you didn't either. You lost.
Golly,
Dana
that's
Lash is a
good.
nationally syndicated radio host. All right, Dana, I want to give Joe Biden the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe he just was next to Kamala and just didn't see her. He is 82.
Yeah, but I've been seeing him do this, Jesse, and then Jill Biden do this also. And I think Jill's done this on a couple of occasions. The wife doesn't lie, right? If the wife is giving somebody the cold shoulder, you know how this is. That means that person is deserving of a cold shoulder. So that's where the truth lies in this. I love watching these factions go at it with each other because both of these factions are miserable. The Biden faction, the Harris faction, the people who are mad at Biden, they all made the perfect little nest for themselves. And I think as, you know, a Christmas gift, a holiday gift for all of us, Jesse, all the way up until January, we get to enjoy watching this play out in front of America. So I feel really good about it.
I'm having the best time covering the news, probably in the history of my TV career. since this election, we've had so much fun covering Democrats. I don't think I can stop. Listening to Jon Stewart talk about whether they're going to help make the country stronger or just do the opposite. Like, how is that even a decision the Democrats are struggling with?
Well, the Democrats have to find an identity. They need to discover what is the soul of their party? What is the purpose of their party? Because it can't just be, well, we're not Trump or we don't like Trump. They can't do that anymore, especially now. They can't do that anymore. And they can't find, whoever's coming up after Trump and say that they're just going to be anti that person either. They actually, Jesse, are now forced to come up with a platform, a policies all of their own. And it can't just be everything's fine, ignore what your eyes and your bank account are telling you. But I don't think that they are humble enough, and I don't think that they believe in themselves enough to actually do this. There is a scarcity of opportunity within the Democrat side. You can only put so many grifters at the table. They have grifted themselves out of influence in the American public, and that's what voters responded to. And until they get it right, Jesse, and until they get something down on paper, something concrete, that will continue to happen.
And we will continue to cover them with the love and affection which we
Schadenfreude is a beautiful thing.
So truly hold for them,
guys. And I'm telling you this: things are not slowing down for Trump. Like, things are really speeding up. Y'all remember this right here that he posted? Patrick Nichols, thank you so much for the super chat. He said, Senator Josh Hawley for president 2028. Who's down? Y'all show Patrick some love in the chat. I said, hey, I like Hawley, I like DeSantis, I like Vance. Anyone I'd be good with. So Trump posted this after he met with Justin Trudeau. He also had dinner with him. He also had dinner with him, and he posted this. It was a pleasure to have dinner the other night with Governor Justin Trudeau. Remember, Justin Trudeau is the Prime Minister of Canada. But he said, look, if we're subsidizing them, let's just make them states. Let's just grow the United States. With Governor Justin Trudeau of the great state of Canada. I look forward to seeing the governor again soon, that we may continue our in-depth talks on tariffs and trade, the result of which will be truly spectacular for all. Guys, a lot of people are like, why would he do that? He's such a troll. Let me tell you this. We've got good news. There's a lot of barriers that are being removed right now, and it's looking good for Trump and the Dream Team. Check this out.
Start with the latest on Trump's nominees. His picks for Defense Secretary, National Intelligence Director, as well as the FBI Director. They're all facing, I would say, fairly intense questioning on Capitol Hill. Brett Baird joins us this morning. Brett, at this moment, does it look like most of Trump's picks will get through?
Stuart, good morning. All you need is love, and they are getting some love up on Capitol Hill. They are seeing a lot of senators who are saying positive things, including Iowa Senator Joni Ernst, with Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth, put out a statement that was, very positive, not 100% that she was going to vote for him, but definitely indicating that she's leaning that way. That would be a big barrier removed if she does vote for him. Remember, they can only lose 3. As far as the other nominees, I think Kash Patel looks very strong for FBI director. And Tulsi Gabbard, while there are critics, it does seem like more and more senators are lining up. So Senator Tom Cotton said President-elect Trump is going to get all of his nominees. It looks more of a chance that that's going to happen today than it did a week ago.
Is Trump putting heavy pressure on the GOP senators? I want my guys in place. Help me. He's putting pressure on them.
Yeah, I think he is. I don't think there have been a ton of direct calls, but he has lobbied a bit, and the message has gotten through the grapevine. I'll be up on Capitol Hill today, and I have an interview with Speaker Johnson. I'm doing my show up there, so I'll get a better sense of things. But I do think that there is a pressure to try to get the president who he wants in the jobs as soon as possible.
Am I allowed to ask you what your big first question will be to Speaker Johnson? You don't have to answer.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you, but no, I really want to know. I really want to know how he's going to negotiate President-elect Trump's agenda with such a slim majority. You know, once you get to the inauguration, Stu, you've got 3 congressmen that leave because they're either into the administration or they're resigning. So the number becomes 217 to 215. You can't lose any Republicans on big-ticket items, and they're trying to do big-ticket items right off the bat.
Yep. One more for you. Senators Manchin and Welsh have announced a bill to place an 18-year term limit on Supreme Court justices. Why the push for term limits at the Supreme Court, Brett?
Well, both of them say that there is a politicization of this process and that they think an 18-year term limit where someone is up every 2 years would take the politics and the pressure out of it. There has obviously been a lot of focus on the Supreme Court, despite the fact, Stu, that the Supreme Court, being divided, decides 9-0 on a lot of things that we just don't cover. So on the big controversial items, it's obviously leaning towards the conservatives now, and that's why there's this pushback. Also on the Hill today, I'll talk to Senator Manchin in his exit interview as he gets ready to leave Congress this afternoon.
We're all waiting for your interview with this.
Guys, I'm telling you, like, it's looking good. It's looking really good. I wanted to show you this because this, to me, Elon Musk put out again, too, because we're following the money, guys. It's always, always, always about following the money. Elon said, if we don't fix the deficit, everything will suffer, including essential spending like DOD, Medicare, and Social Security. So I got this video I want to show you, but real quick, thank you so much, Brian McGavick, for the super chat. He said, I'm a truck driver and I get to see the country and most people have no clue what is really happening. Please remember to vote in the primary election. Yes. Thank you so much, Brian. Y'all show Brian some love in the chat. We will be covering that 100%. And thank you so much, Judy Lynn, for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. Y'all show Judy Lynn some love, everybody that got a free membership. Listen to this, guys, because I'm telling you, this is what's actually going on. Oh, come on. Oh, we're going to refresh.
A crisis in America, $36 trillion of debt, 7% budget deficit, unsustainable. It will bankrupt our children. It will end up making America look like Venezuela if we don't deal with it. And no one wanted to deal with it. No one talked about it during the, Biden didn't, Harris didn't, and Trump didn't really. And lo and behold, the first person who started chirping about it was Elon, saying this is crazy. We need to cut government waste. We have a crisis in.
So y'all hear that, guys? Like, I'm telling you, like in Trump's mind, he wanted to grow the economy and then work to pay down the debt. Elon said, dude, let's just start looking, auditing, cutting. But what's great is that, think about it, with Trump, he's focused on leading the entire country. Having somebody like Elon really helps him and Vivek to be able to focus such a lot of brain power on making sure that we clean out all the government waste. And I feel like, man, I'm glad in a sense that Trump lost in 2020 because now he has a dream team like never before. Let me know your thoughts on that statement. But check this out.
Rest of the world. That is exactly the point that Newt Gingrich makes in his latest Gingrich 360 column. He joins us now. Sir, how are you?
I'm doing great. I want to say, by the way, I've worked with Pete Hegseth a lot over the last 5 or 10 years, and he's a bright, competent, courageous guy, and I thought he did very well just now. And my hunch is he's going to be Secretary of Defense.
My hunch is he will as well, but the left will do what they do. They will treat him like they did Clarence Thomas, Justice Kavanaugh. It just never ends. But it's predictable at this point, and I hope Republican senators see through that. Why would Joe Biden at this late hour be giving hundreds of millions more dollars to Ukraine? Why would he be granting them permission to fire ballistic missiles into Russia, causing Vladimir Putin now to change their nuclear policy? Why would he be doing that? Why would he be firing right after Assad is deposed? Why is he firing into Syria?
Look, I think you have to start with the idea that Joe Biden is probably personally not doing any of that. I mean, everything we've seen, including his recent trip to Angola, he's just cognitively incapable of having done this. You have to assume he has some nutcake left-wing staffers. They're doing dangerous things. As you know, I just wrote at Gingrich 360, we have, for the first time in American history, a de facto president. We've never seen anything like this. When President Trump went to Paris for Notre Dame to see the opening of Notre Dame after its disastrous fire, he was treated by President Macron as though he were the president. He got the full experience of, the French greeting you in a way which is really historic. No president who hasn't been sworn in yet has ever had the kind of experience. He had some 82 leaders from around the world were there for the opening of Notre Dame. He had a great meeting with the president of Ukraine, a great meeting with the prime minister of Italy. And I think what we're seeing is somebody who is president de facto, that is in fact, but not yet president de jure. That means in law. He won't get to be president de jure till January 20th, but he's already, for all practical purposes, the center of the governing system of the American people. And it's, I think, a remarkable achievement.
Isn't it really rooted in this that there is a fear, a healthy fear, a healthy respect for Donald Trump, and that he's strong and he's tough, and without even taking the oath of office, he is almost single-handedly, his election has reestablished America as the world's leader?
Look, if you're a relatively sophisticated leader around the world and you watch 9 years of the rise of Donald Trump and you watch 2 impeachments and you watch all of these efforts to catch him in the law and you watch 2 assassination attempts and the guy just keeps coming. I said the other day, this is a mythic figure, almost like the various Scandinavian Beowulfs and other kind of sagas. I mean, you can't, there's no practical way that you can explain Trump within a normal political structure. He now represents clearly something like, according to the latest Rasmussen poll, 55% of the American people believe that he has in fact got a clear mandate. Only 32% don't agree. So, I mean, he's beginning to build almost a 2-to-1 margin that this is the leader of the American nation. And if you're the rest of the world, and you realize, people forget, we are an enormous country, 345 million people. We are the 3rd largest country geographically in the world. We have enormous power, clearly still, despite every screw up at the Pentagon. We're the most powerful nation in the world. And this is the guy who's now coming back, and they all respect it, and they are, frankly, I think, stunned by it.
He can be transformational, as you were when you were Speaker, as Reagan was when he was president, maybe at a higher level if he accomplishes just his stated agenda. Anyway, Newt Gingrich, thank you. We appreciate
Guys,
you.
I'm telling you, it's good stuff what's coming, because even with what I'm showing you here, Ukraine has stopped firing long-range missiles at Russia following Putin's Orishnik strike. So, not a lot of people know that Trump has been in ceasefire talks with Russia and with Ukraine, trying to get everybody to chill out and make sure that things don't escalate. But we just showed you, Biden, for some freaking reason, cannot stop trying to give Ukraine more money. I think I already took it off. But Biden already said they gave Ukraine another loan for $20 billion. But the person who's really behind Trump's ear to help him go through all this stuff is Elon Musk. And this is crazy, guys. Elon Musk this is reported, offers to buy a house near Trump's Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. Musk reportedly offered up to $100 million for a penthouse in the area, according to Page 6. Guys, Trump and Elon Musk, they're like besties right now. These guys, they're 100% working together. Elon Musk was with Trump when he went overseas to, I think it was Paris. All these things, Elon Musk is right by his side, helping him to filter through, process through, get everything done. Thank you so much, Brian McGavick, for the super chat. He said, please look up Deuteronomy 18:15. Let's go. Y'all show Brian some love in the chat. We'll get you that in a minute, Brian. But again, too, it's again, there's just more and more that we're seeing that everybody is reporting now new things about Kash Patel. Remember, if there's anybody that's going to be pivotal in getting justice, cleaning out the deep state, cleaning out the swamp, it's going to be Kash Patel. And now we just heard that there's now a super high likelihood that he's going to be confirmed. Listen to Steve Bannon. Remember, Steve Bannon is one of Trump's guys. Say what Kash Patel is about to do whenever Trump takes office.
Kash Patel not only knows where the bodies are buried at the FBI, he knows how much dirt's on top of each one. The FBI is a thoroughly corrupt organization and incompetent. And this is coming from a kid. When I was a kid growing up in our parish in Richmond, Virginia, St. Paul's Catholic Church, and then St. Benedict's later. The most revered guys and the dads in the parish were not the doctors or the lawyers. You know, my dad was essentially had just come from being a foreman at the phone company. He was kind of the lowest rung of management. Great guy. But the revered guys were we had two FBI agents, field agents. They were revered. The FBI, J. Edgar Hoover's FBI. For a Catholic back in those days, couldn't have been a higher, position in the government. Even with Kennedy becoming president, the FBI guys were kind of the permanent. And they worked for Hoover, who even then was still revered as being the anti-communist. The guy was the anti-communist. That's not the FBI today. The FBI today is thoroughly incompetent and corrupt. It has to be taken apart brick by brick, and Kash Patel is the guy to do it.
Yes.
And they understand it. That's where they're fighting him. Also, Kash Patel, and that's Taibbi, just going through the very, very basics. That story continues on when we won and they went into shock in December, later with Nunes and Kash. That's where I first started meeting Kash. Because Nunes became the head of the intelligence committee. Because why? Because we made Pompeo, I think Mike Rogers had it. They rotated. Pompeo was going to take it, and we named Pompeo the head of the CIA. And he was very upfront with us later. He couldn't control the CIA. He couldn't take it apart. Kash Patel was the chief investigator. I think Derek Harvey was the chief investigator, and Kash was the general counsel for House Intel when this whole thing started. And I got over $2 million of legal bills that I paid myself as Shifty Shift grilled me for, 20, 25, 30 hours, and Don McGahn and Reince Priebus and everybody, in essentially a tribunal, a witch hunt, to prove everything about the Steele dossier, which were all lies, and Comey leaked to BuzzFeed after he showed it to the president, totally illegitimately and illegally. This is the kind of operators you have. These people are criminals. They are criminals. They have done criminal activity and lots of it. And guess what? They're going to be investigated. It's going to be adjudicated.
Boom.
They're going to be tried, and then a jury of their peers will figure out what happens to them. I assume, given the facts that I know, and I don't know them all, I know enough of them, but I'm a long way from knowing them all, but that's what an investigation is for. They will go to federal prison for many, many, many years and or decades. McCabe and Comey and that whole crowd. It's not about retribution. I don't have time for retribution. Trump doesn't. None of us have. You have to do this for the country. We have a moral obligation to do this. The country sat as a jury on the 5th of November, and they've rendered their verdict.
Yes.
Their verdict is we don't want any more of this. We can't have this. We don't fully understand it. We don't know the players, these names, or all this stuff. It makes their brains hurt. They don't have time to know it, and they don't have to know it. We have to know it because we sat there and watched Rachel Maddow every night with Shifty Shift coming. We got big things, break in. He's a communist and part of Putin. That is a bald-faced lie, and crimes were committed. And Matt Taibbi is not MAGA, and Glenn Greenwald's not MAGA. They're the farthest things from MAGA. They're not part of our program. They hate a lot of what we do. But they understand one thing, and we're united in one cause. Yep. Is that the administrative state's rogue element, the military intelligence, quote unquote, legal and justice system that's merged into one to basically make sure that they make a determination on who runs this deal. This is why Brennan sits there and goes, no, they have to have FBI checks. And he's sitting on there, they have to have FBI checks, and intelligence has to be comfortable with these guys. The intelligence doesn't have to be comfortable. I want you to be uncomfortable because, Brennan, you're the lead dog, bro. Because Comey and these guys are kind of bozos, and McCabe, they're not that impressive. These kind of clowns. You, sir, are the evil one.
Guys.
And, sir, you will, as sure as the turning of the earth, you're going to go to prison.
Guys,
and guess what?
That's the real thing that's coming to pass. Like, when I hear this, Steve Bannon, sorry, they're putting this music. It's getting louder. I don't want to get copyrighted. Guys, I've been copyrighted for having a dang video for 8 seconds. And they literally took my video down for 8 seconds of playing a song that I didn't have the rights to or whatever. And they literally took me down. But I wanted to show this to everybody that's coming on, that Trump is confirmed and planned a declare national emergency using the military for the mass deportations. This is 100% happening. On top of that, we have the national emergency that Robert F. Kennedy says that on day one of Trump's presidency, they would declare an emergency similar to COVID, but focused on chronic disease. This is going to be huge, guys. What's coming on day one, I think it is going to rock this nation. That is going to be a huge news day for us. Thank you so much, Lay Lewis, for the super chat. Says Santa Trump is coming to town. Let's go. Y'all show Lay some love in the chat. I feel like this is going to be, what we're about to see is going to be the biggest changes we've ever seen, probably in our history, like definitely in my lifetime, for presidents that are going to limit government, cut the waste, free enterprise, no more foreign wars, and really clean a lot of stuff up. And Judy Lynn, I agree. Elon Musk should buy YouTube. But I think YouTube's worth like, I don't know, $250 million. But I think he could do it. He could round up the funding. But we definitely got a lot of good stuff coming. Hope you've enjoyed the show today. If you're not subscribed, why not? Go ahead, subscribe. I am here to serve you and bring you the top news every single day, Monday through Friday, 2 shows, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. It's free. If you haven't hit the thumbs up like button, please do so, guys. It really does help out. And thank you to all of our members of the channel. We want to say thank you so much. The link is in the description if you want to join the TrueLife News fam. It's less than $1 per month, and we use that money to give back to charity once a month live on stream so that you see that this channel is more than just reporting the news. We are giving back and bringing a positive change. TCal59, let's go. First time super chat. Y'all show TCal59 some love in the chat, everybody. Also, let's show some love to GLO, What's New, Deanna Scott, Scott Blickendeffer, Ronald Zimmerman, Connie Coleman, Patrick Nichols, Brian McGavick, Judy Lynn Loving Spirit, Lay Lewis. Guys, y'all are so amazing. We couldn't do it without you. This show is, I'm saying, we're growing every single day. Just crossed over 153,000 subscribers. It's all because of you. We're here to serve you. We want America first. Take care of our brothers. Take care of our sisters. Make sure that we stop having the government waste our money, and then support the right leaders to keep pushing us forward in the right way. Love y'all all so much, guys. Remember that we are here to serve you, and that's what we need more from our politicians. Thank you so much, Patrick Nichols, again for the super chats. I wanted to let you know, Joel, I got half of my colleagues to subscribe to your channel. They love what you're bringing. Let's go. Hey, Patrick, let's go. That's a real one right there. Y'all show Patrick some love, guys. Appreciate y'all so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.